went to bed with a 5% surge in stock prices, plus $10.6 billion that the company has spent on buybacks since 2015. Meanwhile, 14,000 GM workers spent a sleepless night wondering if their jobs and livelihood would still be there for them the next morning. There is no better snapshot of our country's current toxic brand of capitalism, where we are operating in a system that demands that workers labor harder and harder to meet basic human needs, but refuses to share even a slice of the success that they helped create. And for those of us in this chamber this morning, it's about more than one company or one balance sheet. It is about 50 years of giving the private sector explicit permission to cast workers aside. It's about an economy that has become the antithesis of what our country stands for: equity, decency, justice, and hard work. President Trump has made his response to these economic inequities very clear. His is a country of bitter rivalry between fellow citizens, forced to endlessly spar over the scraps of that system. My wages can't go up unless your food stamps are taken away. Your medical bills can't fall unless my insurance goes. And so Americans spend their days fighting each other over economic crumbs, while our system quietly delivers the entire pie to those at the top. And that is a reality that our new Democratic majority must address for a coal miner in Kentucky and a daycare worker in New York, the fifth-generation farming family in Ohio, and the first-generation immigrant family in Massachusetts, the mostly white towns in West Virginia, devastated by an opioid epidemic, and the communities of color across our country terrorized by a war on drugs. Forget where they're from, or what they look like, or how they vote. All of these Americans face an economy that does not operate for them. They live in cities and towns that are likely to be medically underserved, educationally ostracized from today's job market, plagued by inadequate infrastructure, burdened by crumbling homes or houses that no one can afford. They disproportionately shoulder the hard words that can make life hurt: eviction, addiction, bankruptcy, and violence. They hail from the places where polling locations disappear, where the biggest economic engine is a payday lender, where lead poisons their children's water, where injustice and insufficiency fester for generations before a government thinks to step in. This is the challenge of our time. It is the injustice that we have to solve, not just because our politics, but because our system will not survive if we don't. And I believe in that system. American capitalism has done great good for a great number of people. It's given the average American a better standard of living than anywhere else in the world, lifted millions out of poverty, and powered our globe. But its current iteration is badly broken. And the sooner we admit it, the sooner we can strip it to the studs and build something better. A moral capitalism judged not just by how much it produces, but by how widely it shares, by how much good it does